Welcome back. It is 15:07. Wow, it's going by fast already. And last year we had Isla finally get engaged to Heath, much to her mother's happiness. And we had Cassandra become friends with Helifer, I think his name is. And Gabriel's been doing his gem cutting thing, giving gems to the Crown Prince. And Tobias has been, he graduated high school, and then he also, what did he do? Oh, he was starting to meet the ladies. He's starting to get into the scene. So that's what happened then. This year we have some scariness. Let's focus on Alexander Goth III first. No 7 or 13. Okay, he's fine. Will he marry? He will. Children? 6. Okay. He's fine. Alex Goth, the third. Third. 6. Okay, I have so many people here. Okay, that's where we're at. Oh, also, a little sneaky peeky is some new Sims. Watson. Okay, we'll come back to them in just a second. Okay, Mortimer. I've been trying to avoid it. I don't know if I can. Okay, he has to get an 8 or higher. I don't even know if I can look. An 8 or higher, 8 or higher, 8 or higher. You guys. Mortimer. I mean, it is his adult part, too. It's not like he's a spring chicken. But he doesn't. Oh, you guys. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay, well, now we really have to decide what to do about the titles. Man. Oh my gosh. I can't even think straight, you guys. Okay. Let's meet the new Sims. This is the Watson family, again by S Sims Player 123, and it says Violet's mother. This is Violet over here. Or over here. Oh. Yeah, new EA app, by the way. I was finally forced to get the EA app. I'm on Mac, so it came later than PC, and it was a tough transition. Anyway, so Violet's mother died giving birth to her, and right after her father, this is her father, here's Violet, married Merida, her evil stepmother. Merida believes Ares is favoring Violet. Ares is the father. Ares is favoring Violet, so she's doing her best to sabotage her and getting a good husband in favor of her children. So she has 3 children, Elsabeth, Honora, and Emil. She wants to get her children married into a family with a title, and Violet would be lucky to marry a peasant. The Watson family are really influential merchants and are trying to cozy up to the king to get a title of their own. So they want a title. They want to cozy up to the king. Lucky for us, we're already close to the king, so maybe we'll get involved with that family. We'll see. Also, Violet, it looks like Violet's a spellcaster, so that's cool, because I want to do spellcaster things right now. Anyway, so that's the update. Oh my gosh, Mortimer. I don't even know, you guys. But I guess there's never a good time. Now's as good as any. And he'd probably die in the flu anyway. So let's hop into the game. Alrighty, and also I just want to say the reason we don't have a lot of money is because I added the second wing onto the house over across from the other apartments, because I figure if we're going to have like potentially Cassandra, Tobias, and Siobhan all living in a unit on the lot, we need at least 3 units, right? But we only have 2, so I built another one over there. There's room for 2 more as well. But anyway, let's get started by having Gabriel do his gem cutting. He's already on like level 8. He's doing really good. He is going to slowly get into all the jewelry making and stuff. Like I said before, we're just right now working on gem cutting from his mine. And I don't know why Mortimer came down here to autonomously try this, but I figure it's a good reason to kill him. Maybe he, like, something happened with his lungs or whatever he breathed in, and it was like it had bacteria in it or something, you know, and so he passed away. So here comes everyone. I know. You know, honestly, let me just say, Mortimer has been one of my favorite Sims of all time. Like, I know I probably say this a lot, but like Mortimer has just been such a great Sim. Like, think about how he worked so hard to, you know, gain recognition with the local Duke, how he survived the sickness and as a second son then became the head of the family, even though there was no family left. He was all alone, and him and Diana were just like the perfect couple. They were so in love and they had so many children and everything was just really great. And I just like, oh, he's just so great. And, you know, after Diana died, when he was like struggling to be a good father and also a workaholic, marrying Siobhan, it just like so many good things have come out of his life. And he had such an interesting story. And I'm really so excited that for the first time, we're really starting to grow the world again. Like, he has 6 children, and we're really going to start having branches of our family and all this other stuff. Like, we keep having a lot of children, but they're either girls or they don't survive or whatever. And I'm just like really feeling good about the game right now. Like, I'm really feeling good. We didn't plead for him. Grim never gave us the opportunity. And honestly, I don't mind. Like, I think it's interesting. Mortimer wasn't really doing that much anymore, so I think it's okay to let him go. I think he had a really full life, and I feel good about it. I hope you guys feel good about it too. I mean, obviously I'm sad because he was such a great Sim and I didn't want to lose him. But like, he did everything he wanted to do. I mean, he didn't finish his aspiration, but that's whatever. But yeah, he did everything he wanted to do. And I feel like he had a really good life. And I'm really excited to see where things go from here with his children and everything. Like, think about, like, Cassandra was his favorite, obviously, we know that. She's having problems with her betrothal, and now her father isn't here to help solve those for her. It has to be Gabriel, right? So Gabriel is now the head of the household, and so I think that that's going to cause an interesting dilemma. And then, you know, Gabriel, who's mean, is probably going to enjoy getting all of the control and the power. And, you know, I just feel like that this is really interesting. I do. And I'm pretty excited to see where we go. I mean, our kids are like grown up now, so there is definitely going to be next generation drama and everything. So, anyway, Mortimer has died. We had a small memorial service at home for him. We put him in the basement. And now we are going to go visit the king. So the king, who is going to, you know, solidify our potential titles. So I know we've talked a lot about this and we've gone back and forth, and we really have. So what I'm thinking, right, we're going to go to the king, and I think that we should take what Mortimer would do into account, right? Mortimer loved all his children. He wanted them all to have really great opportunities to be successful. So I think Mortimer would have split the titles among his 2 eldest sons. So the king is going to come here and talk to them. And of course, Gabriel will think that he's just going to inherit everything, right? But then he comes and talks to the king to get his titles. And the king is going to be like, yes, you are now Viscount, and that's really exciting. But then he's going to tell him, after he, you know, gives him his Viscount title, that he is going to give Tobias the Baron title. Because remember, the king and Mortimer were pretty good friends. This is Henry VII. We're pretty good friends. So we are going to have him, you know, follow Mortimer's wishes in the matter. So we are going to change this to Viscount, even though we can't fit that entire word there. And then we'll have Tobias get the Baron title. And like we talked about, Tobias is not having any children, so there is that. And then we are going to have Gabriel. Gabriel's kind of mad. He did not expect Tobias to get the Baron title. He is really just a little salty about it because he thought he was going to get everything and then he didn't. So he is definitely not going to enjoy Tobias's company for a little while, but he is going to continue to give the king and the royal family jewels from his mine that he cut preciously and everything. And so, he's still doing really well with his relationship with the royal family. Maybe he'll get another title of his own. I'm sure Mortimer would love that if his son was ambitious enough to even get another title. I forget what's above Viscount. It must just be Count or Earl. But yeah, I think that it's really great. So we're going to come home now and come upstairs, and we'll have him go back to doing his gem cutting. Yeah, Gabriel is not too happy that Tobias was able to also get a title. But what you gonna do? That's what the king said. Anyway, so Tobias is going upstairs to talk to Cassandra, and I think that that's totally something he would do. Maybe he'll come and tell Cassandra that he got the Baron title, and she's excited for him. Like, she thinks that is great. She knows that that's what their father would want, so she's really happy for him. And Siobhan kind of overhears. And so, sorry, I have to rename the spouses. And Islay just got married. Congratulations. So yeah, Siobhan overhears, and she is kind of mad because that means her son is the only one who didn't get a title. And so she's like, seriously? So she's just talking to Tobias and all this stuff. And so she's really not happy about her son being the only one left out. I mean, there's only 2 titles. I'm sorry, Lionel, but there's only 2. So that's where she's at. We'll go through the night here, just having them chat with each other. Siobhan is probably already scheming and thinking about what she can do to solidify her and her son's places among the household. Also, keep in mind, the flu is coming up, which I am terrified about, but the flu is coming up. Although, to be fair, it's only a 1 in 20 chance, knock on wood, that it's only a 1 in 20 chance. So the likelihood that many Sims are going to die is low, but you never know. Anyway, so like we said, Cassandra and Mortimer were like the closest. Obviously, she was not always the eldest, but she's the eldest, at his death. And she always exceeded his expectations, and even though she's a woman, she founded a charity and, showed the same ambition that her father did. And so I think that, those two were very, very close, and she is just devastated by his death. And, I mean, obviously everyone is very sad about his death, but she is particularly sad about it. And then today is already Wednesday. Honestly, this year went by so fast. Like, I always have a list of things I want to get done in the year. And my list for this year, I just was struggling to complete it because this year went by so quickly. So it is now Wednesday, and it is Isla's birthday. We're also going to age up Heath because we're going to have their wedding. And I know Mortimer just died, but, every day is 3 months or whatever. So it's been a few months. And they were planning on getting married anyway. They were already engaged. So Isla is going to have her birthday as soon as Siobhan can go upstairs, bake a cake, then come back downstairs and actually put the cake in the oven and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, we have that going on, and we'll age her up into a young adult. So that is really exciting for her. I want her to be able to marry the guy that she wants to marry, and she's marrying pretty well, so I'm really, everyone's excited for her to be able to marry the future Marquis, and she's feeling good. So let's put some birthday candles on this cake, and we will have Isla blow them out, and then we will start wedding preparations. So here she goes, blowing out her candles. She is so pretty, honestly. And then we are going to, there I go, aging up Heath, just using MCCC. And we're aging her up. She wants to have a successful family, which is totally like her. So let's just do this. And then, yes, we're just calling over some people to have cake. And, yeah. so there's that. And all of the Dubois family is here as well, obviously, because, you know, the families are joining soon, so they're attending each other's events. And Cassandra, I'm trying to call over Nigel, but I can't. Okay, so two things are happening here at the same time, sort of, because it's taking me forever to get Nigel here. But the first thing is that Siobhan is starting to talk to the Marquis Christian. So we know that Christian is erratic. They moved here because his behavior was starting to warrant questions. And he just kind of like, she's talking to him, but then he just like kind of gets up and walks away and just like wanders out into the snow. And she's like kind of weirded out by that. She's like, what the heck? Anyway, so Siobhan is starting to maybe get a little suspicious about Heath. And one of the main reasons why they didn't want Isla to marry, about Christian, but one of the main reasons they didn't want Isla to marry Heath was because they didn't want Siobhan to find out about Christian's condition. But anyway, so we have Cassandra talking to Nigel. This is Nigel Beza, Serdic's little brother. So he has come to talk to her, and he comes and he says it's urgent and he needs to talk to her. And she's like, what is going on? And he tells her that Serdic has disappeared. He left the house in the middle of the night, and like he left Nigel and his mother, and he just like, they don't know where he is. And not only that, but when he started going through, you know, his correspondences to try to figure it out, he found out that the family is super in debt. Serdic has spent all their money and then ran off with whatever was left in the middle of the night. So Cassandra is horrified, right? Because this is her betrothed, right? This is the person she's supposed to marry, and he has just like disappeared like a criminal, stealing his family's money. And so she is just like, cannot believe what is going on. And she's so upset because the person that she would talk to about this, the person she would rely on to solve this for her, is her father. And he's gone now. So she just doesn't even know what to do. She's so upset. So anyway, we're going to have the wedding next. So the wedding is going to take place. We are going to have Heath and Isla get married. This is exactly what she always wanted, was to get a good marriage to someone that she, you know, felt really strongly about, and that, you know, obviously was wealthy and had a title. That was something that she cared about too. She's not going to lie. But yeah, she's feeling good. Today's her wedding day. She's feeling confident. She is so happy. I love her. So yeah, I'm really actually glad that we had Isla. I think that, you know, it's fun to get everything going. Siobhan is really glad that Isla snagged the marquee before Cassandra's betrothed disappeared. So anyway, can you guys not just stand in the middle of the aisle, please? I really, really don't appreciate it because I need to see them walk down this beautiful aisle. So let's have the wedding, and we are going to have Heath and Isla walking up the aisle together. Look at this. Oh, they're so cute. Oh my gosh, she is so happy. Look at her face, and he's so adoring of her. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is so cute. So let's have them exchange vows. And of course, after I'm like, Serdic disappeared, he sits in the middle of the aisle. Ignore him, please. So yes, they are going to come up here and say their vows to each other in front of everyone. And they are just so happy that, you know, that they get to finally get married and start their lives together. They're really excited about that. So here we go. They are getting married. And a little dip. Everyone is cold. I hate the winter in this game, honestly. Okay, so then we will go upstairs for the reception. Let's just head upstairs and get some food on the table, and then we'll have everyone come up and eat something. So let's go for that. You can't call to meal, but you can tell everybody it's time to eat. Okay, so time to eat. And we are going to just get everybody upstairs as long as they take to get upstairs. So there's that. And as you can see, I did invite Sybil Peacock. So remember the Peacock family, they had all that drama with Grace, and the whatever, the Docker family. And so Sybil Peacock is the youngest daughter of the Peacock, like of Amelia and her husband. She's not Grace's daughter. Not Grace. Alice's daughter. She's not Alice's daughter. She's Alice's daughter's aunt. She's Alice's sister-in-law. So anyway, Gabriel gets talking to her because, of course, we know he's a rake. He's a flirty flirt. And so he is chatting with her, and the conversation is not going well. But anyway, he's chatting with her, and he's, he gifts the ladies some crystals because he thinks that, obviously that's what a lady would like. And so she is like, oh, wow. And then so she kind of mentions offhandedly, like, this would be really great if you, like, charged it. And he's like, huh? So he's kind of interested in this conversation, but they don't really get the chance to talk too much at the wedding. So he's definitely going to follow up to find out more about charging crystals and all of that. But yes, he comes up to her and he is very curious as to what she knows that can make his crystals better. And then we saw Siobhan trying to talk to Christian again. So Siobhan was trying to, dig a little deeper on Christian, and then all of a sudden Christian's wife, Anika, starts giving a speech. So his wife starts giving this big speech about the married couple and everything, and so it kind of distracts from Siobhan trying to talk to Christian. I actually did that on accident, but I thought that it was great anyway. So anyway, I thought that, Isla is part of our family. We should roll for how many babies she has, even if she's not technically part of the main household. So we rolled for her, and she's going to have 7 kids with Heath. So congratulations, Isla. You deserve it. You really, really do. So I'm so happy she's going to have lots of children with her husband. And let's head over here. And I'm just looking around because I'm thinking about who could potentially be a future husband for Cassandra. And, we have a lot of options, but I'm thinking more like, okay, who would Gabriel want her to be with? Because keep in mind now, Gabriel is the one who's going to have to arrange whatever marriage she goes for now that her father is dead. So it is definitely an issue for her that her father has passed and now her brother is in charge of her future, which she is not really looking forward to. So we have to think about 2 different things. 1, who Cassandra would like, and then 2, who Gabriel would like for Cassandra, and what conflict that's going to cause between the 2 of them. So anyway, I'm adding the Heath family to our family, not Heath family, the Dubois family to our family tree. So this is really exciting. They have to have a son. Oh my gosh, the marquee title is not going to pass on unless they have a son. But I mean, with 7 kids, it's pretty likely that they'll have a surviving son. Although I say that as if several of my families have not died out with just as good odds. Anyway, so we are going to have Gabriel and Cassandra have a conversation now. Tobias is also going to kind of, listen in on the conversation, but Cassandra is going to tell him, I'm sure you've heard Serdic disappeared. It's now Thursday, so it's been a few months again, and she's going to be like, I'm sure you've heard, I'm unbetrothed now, my fiance ran off, and that will, reflect poorly on our family. So she's just basically talking to him about what, what can they do? And so Gabriel's thinking, I'm trying to figure out how related we are to some of these people, but Gabriel is thinking, so obviously Alexander just became a teenager this year, and so he's not really old enough because Cassandra is becoming an adult like next year or the year after. So yeah, in 2 years. So Alex is too young for her. But Albert is only 1 year younger than Cassandra. So Albert Landgrab, who will be inheriting the title of Baron Landgrab, who is the same status as Serdic was. So he is currently unattached. So I think that we're going to have Gabriel kind of introduce the 2 of them and see if he can't make a match for Cassandra himself. So we are going out to meet Albert. I'm also going to invite Sybil because, of course, he did want to talk to her more about the gems and stuff. So we are going to go out and have a little chaperoned meeting between Albert and Cassandra. Sybil, could you not freeze to death? I hate this game sometimes. Okay, so let's all go inside. Except, of course, all the Sims leave, except for my Sims, because that's just the way it goes in this game. The Sims never want to stay. Anyway, so we're going to come and meet Albert. If you could just come here, Albert. Okay, and then my Sims leave, too. Can you guys just sit still, please? Okay, so here's Albert. He is a year younger than Cassandra, I believe. So they're about the same age. It doesn't really matter. And so Gabriel is going to introduce him to his sister. And they actually have a good first impression of each other. But he's just in such an angry mood. He's in such a bad mood. He's not very polite. He is just kind of dismissive of the whole thing. He's not really interested in, you know, dealing with all of this. He's like, this guy's younger than me and he's trying to like do all this stuff, and he just is like doesn't really seem into it very much. And then him and Gabriel get into it because of course Gabriel's mean, so he can't help but being mean to people. So anyway, it's kind of a disaster. It kind of goes poorly, and Cassandra's like doesn't know what to do, but she knows she doesn't really want to marry Albert after that display, right? Like, he didn't act very respectable. And Gabriel's like, it doesn't matter how he acts. He's going to be a baron, like, whatever. And Cassandra is just worried about her brother's ability to find her a husband because she does not think that he's doing a good job, though, so far. So anyway, she's going to go home because we don't need her anymore. We're going to have him talk to Sybil some more and get romantic with her because he needs to get romantic with 5 Sims. We've just been doing 1 Sim a year. But anyway, so he is going to talk to Sybil and get romantic with her and ask her more. You know, and like he's like flirting with her, and then he starts to, you know, dig in on the information he wants. She's feeling flirty. She's feeling good. And so they're just having this conversation where they're talking about, you know, crystals and stuff, and he's like, oh, like it really suits you and all this stuff. And so they're talking about it, and she's like, you can't leave, Sybil, stay. And so they're talking and they're being flirty, and so she tells him like, well, if you charge your crystals like under the moon, they will get special properties. And he's kind of like, how do you know this? Like, because he's skeptical at first, right? He's like, that sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? And so she's like, well, the truth is my family are a family of spellcasters, and we do this kind of stuff all the time, and it really does a lot of cool things. Like, it can make you flirty, it can help with your needs, all this stuff. And Gabriel's like, wow, that is really interesting. So Gabriel is kind of interested to try it out because even though he thinks like it's a little silly, you know, she told him that she's from a family of spellcasters, and he assumes that they know more about this sort of thing than he does. And, you know, why not give it a shot, right? If it works, it could be a big boon for him. So he's really excited there. Oh, also, speaking of boons, because I probably said that because I'm still reading the Bridgerton books, I have just finished Colin and Penelope's book. It was good. It was really good. Oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat. Please don't freeze to death, Eleanor. Yes, it was good. And now I'm starting to read Eloise's book. But yeah, oh, I loved it. I loved Colin and Penelope's book. It was really good. So anyway, I love me a girl boss. So now we have Gabriel trying out the crystal charging. He puts it on the mat, and then he's going to go and wait. So he has to wait. So he's going to continue working on his gem cutting. He is just such a little charmer, isn't he? Like, it's so amazing. Like, he's mean, but he's so like charming and romantic. So like, I feel like probably a lot of people, especially women, will overlook him being mean because he's just so charming, and then like immediately kind of puts them at ease even though they've like been insulted or something. Anyway, so Hair Lifer has come over to talk to Cassandra. They have been working together on a lot of charity stuff because he was so interested in all her charity stuff, and so he has kind of gotten more involved in it, obviously because he has a big fat crush on her. And so he has a big crush on her, so he's been trying to get involved in her charity work. And he's found out also that she is now unattached. So he is kind of excited about that, and they're talking and they're chatting and they're being all flirty and everything. And so they're being flirty and they're talking, and he's like, look, I really like you. I think that you're an amazing person, and I know I'm like a third son. But if you could just give me a chance, I promise, like, I could take good care of you, all this stuff. And so Cassandra is kind of smitten with him a little bit because, you know, she has just been treated poorly by Serdic all these years. And to have someone who is just so into her and adoring of her, like, it really feels good for her. And she really, you know, he cares about what she cares about and, like, all this stuff. And she just can find herself, you know, starting to fall in love because he is someone who cares a lot about her interests, and they're very similar people and all this stuff. And so she definitely also has feelings for him. So the only worry, of course, is that there's no way Gabriel is going to let this third son of the Gamal family marry his sister. There's no way. So he is concerned about that because this guy is not high up on the list of wealthy men. I mean, Cassandra obviously is wealthy in her own right. Like, she doesn't, and there is, again, and I found this out in my research, is a lot of, like, second or third sons would look for a woman with a big dowry, because if she has a big dowry, then potentially they can live off of, like, the interest accumulated by that and all that stuff. Like, they would be able to survive off of her money. And, so a lot of men would go after, or not go after, but like they wouldn't have a lot of options but to try and marry someone who has a big dowry. So I'm sure Gabriel is thinking that as well, that there's, you know, potentially ulterior motives, even though we know that he is totally smitten with her. But anyway, let's do the makeovers for this year. We're wrapping up. Obviously, Alex Goth the third has just become a teenager. Again, too young for Cassandra, but he's just become a teenager. I love that he kept the black hair. Like, he's the only child with black hair. But he's a goth, so there you go. And now we're just going to give him his makeover. We know that Mortimer died, unfortunately. And then we have 3 Sims that became young adults this year, including Ives Peacock, and then Isla and Heath, obviously, because we saw them age up and get married. So those are the birthdays for this year. So next year, we actually have Lionel aging up into a child, so that's really exciting. And we'll go from there. Hopefully he survives, and then we're trying to ignore the fact that the flu is looming over us in 1510, but it is only 1507, the end of 1507, so we will cross that bridge when we get there. We have plenty of birthdays before that, like Cassandra's. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I am having so much fun with these Sims. So much is going on, and it's just like I love every single Sim storyline that we're doing. So I will catch you guys in the next one.